All right, y'all. All right, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of hashtag CB99 Talks. It's 140, episode 149. What's up, y'all? Back with another one. I'm live again. Feels like it's been a minute. I guess, when I got other stuff going on. And then I realized it's been like 2 or 3 days. I'd be like, oh, man, it seemed like I've been gone for a while. But I feel like I've been consistent for a while now. I've been back in action. Marcus Bell, what's up, man? Yes, sir. Back with another episode of your favorite WMMA podcast, right? All right. So yeah, just a few things I want to talk about tonight. I'm gonna try to keep this at an hour this time because I got some stuff to do for real this time. So I'm gonna keep it at an hour. That's why I made sure I was on around 7:30. Not 7:30 on the dot, but around 7:30, man. But yeah, man, there's a few things I want to discuss, man, because WMMA's been picking up. I can't complain. We had a crazy, kind of a crazy weekend, as far as like women's mixed martial arts. I mean, Friday, you know, we watched the ONE FC card together, the all women's card. That was a good card. I can't complain. That was a good card. The Palace Athena card, all women's action as well. I still got to go back and watch that one. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna just kind of go over it and cover it with y'all on here tonight. And the ONE FC card, just in case y'all missed it, I just give y'all my thoughts on the whole card. And yeah, and then the PAWFC card because I want to go back and I got to go back and watch that one. I got to watch that. But yeah, I want to talk about those. As y'all know, Joanna, she's been inducted into the Hall of Fame. A couple of fighters retiring, and got to go back and give y'all my thoughts on Macy Barber and where she stands right now after this win this past weekend. And this Grasso Shevchenko timeline right now. We got to talk about that, man. Like, what kind of damage is this going to do to the flyweight division? Grasso Shevchenko 3, it seems like it's bringing more pain than it is joy, man, as far as how they've been pushing this thing back. I mean, we got fighters lined up ready to fight for the belt, but it just seems like they've been pushing this thing back, man. They've been pushing this fight back, and it's causing some damage right now. Because we got some fighters ready, man. We got some fighters hungry, and also this PFL action that's going down, man. PFL flyweight, the PFL flyweight season is coming up. What, beginning of April? And they got some good matches, but there's a couple matches I ain't feeling. So I want to talk about that. Paul, what's up, man? He said we live. Yeah, we live, man. So yeah, I don't know if you was here last Friday, Paul, but I was calling the one fight night 20 card. If they had the International Women's Day card, and it was just all women's action. I'm talking MMA, Muay Thai, kickboxing. The main event was a kickboxing match, but it was like 9 fights and 2 title fights on there. And I think it had a grappling match too. Yeah, it had like a grappling match, but all of it was good to me, man. I can't complain, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that the UFC, they could benefit off doing something like this, but I think it just comes down to the respect that the international waters gives WMMA. Like, some people would think that when you go overseas that they would be stricter on women, but surprisingly, no. Like, and that's what's weird about it. Like, the United States is supposed to be all equal and everything, and everybody's supposed to be able to do whatever. But when it comes to like women's sports, that's the one thing I would be like, yo, like, come on, we need more of this. That's the one thing. Like, I'm old fashioned about some things, but when it comes to like WMMA, I'd be like, hey, man, like, y'all need to start doing some more women's cards over here, like, for real. Now I'm talking about the UFC, but yeah, ONE FC, I think because they have more Asian fighters, Brazilian fighters, Eastern European fighters, they tend to have more respect for the women that get into the game. That's why they have Yeah, that's why they have these big followings like Stan Fairtex and uh, Smila Sundell and all of them. Sui Ham and Barbie. Jackie Boonton. They all have like this big. They all tend to have like a big following without the UFC. They don't really need that help from the UFC. Um, but yeah, to me the card was good. I think all the fights were action. There weren't too many stoppages. I think there was maybe like one stoppage. Really, yeah, there was like one stoppage, but all the fights went the distance, but they were good. They weren't boring. Let me see here. You had like 9 fights. I said the first fight. Let me see. The first fight was a stoppage because I had just pulled it up on that Cohen and Krylova fight. That was a stoppage. That first Muay Thai fight on the card. The grappling match was decent. It went the distance. And let's see. That Grand Jean Souza MMA matchup, that was good. What's her name? Poi versus Fernandez. That was a crazy match. I know Poi came in overweight and Fernandez looked like she was doing well at first. Like she was catching Poi because she was just running in there. But that dog fight that Yao Poi was just putting on her was just taxing, man. And she couldn't keep up with her, man. That's what I'm saying, man. Like Poi, man, when she meets somebody that can hit like somebody Petija, I don't know if that dog run 'em, gun 'em style that she was using is gonna pay off though. So let's see. Noelle Grandjean, she won her fight. Bastos won her fight. Cohen won her fight by knockout. Poi won hers against Laura Fernandez. Uh Van Rava versus Krasinska. That Muay Thai fight to me was kind of controversial. I thought Krasinska did enough to win that fight. They gave it to Barbie, gave it to the Barbie girl. Maybe it was because of the knockdown, but I don't know if that was enough to win the fight. I thought Krasinska won. Sawada beat Radzuan. That was a good fight. Sawada, she was quick with her takedowns, her wrestling, her striking looked good in that fight. Radzuan was the bigger fighter, but like she was pretty fast and they're controlling her, man. So um, I was kind of impressed by that one. I know Radzuan came in heavier, but yeah, Sawada came in there doing some serious damage with them hands, man. And let's see, Jackie Boontown fight was good. Micheletto. Jackie Boontown, I mean, she was putting that work in on Micheletto. I think Micheletto was like, what, a 15-fight win streak? But she was in here getting pieced up. I mean, she gave some as well as taking some, but Jackie Boontown, man, that girl is tough, man. Like, that left hook ain't no joke. Girl pack some power. So, yeah, Jackie Boontown won her fight. Alicia Rodriguez beat Christina Morales to defend her Muay Thai belt. And then Petija got a unanimous decision over Janet Todd. And yeah, man, all the fights were good, man. There was action in all of them, man. Like I said, I could go back and watch this one. I can watch this one a couple of times, because they were just bringing the heat on this one. And I know most of y'all was up in here watching it, though. We all watched that card. It was good. I think that Chihiro Sawada's one fighter to watch out for. I think Krasinska, the Muay Thai, out of Muay Thai fight, even though she lost, I think she's somebody to look out for. Um, I'd like to see Laura Fernandez in there again against somebody maybe that's her size. That would be good, But yeah, it was a good card. Good card. Let me see here. Because this was this was all the fighters on there. It was like 9 fights. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I missed this one. Like, I mean, I could go back and watch it, but there was just like so much going on. Like PAWFC 3, this is their third card, kind of like Invicta, a little bit lower. It's not as well known yet. I know they have Felicia Spence over there doing some commentating. They have Chris Cyborg. She'd be doing the interviews with some of these up and coming fighters. It's the same format as Invicta. You got some veterans on this card and some newcomers. But this one was kind of like ONE FC, man. They were mixing it up. They had some Muay Thai fights and MMA. They were going back and forth on it. So you got 10 fights here. Couple of one championship fight on this one. There was a bantamweight fight for that vacant. There was a flyweight championship fight, not the bantamweight, because I know the bantamweight title fight. They were supposed to schedule one, I believe, but they just did a flyweight fight on this one. It was Carvalho and Kate Bassick. I've seen Larissa Carvalho before, young Brazilian fighter. I've seen her fight a couple of times. She fought for UAE, and she fought on this PAWFC card before. But from what I've seen, because I looked at the prelims, I kind of skimmed some of the prelims on YouTube. Not bad as far as the action. Production value kind of looked like there was some lagging in the streaming. But like I said, that's something they'll probably work out the kinks. They only done 3 cards. They've only done 3 cards so far, and they're kind of spaced out too, I believe, man. Like last time I seen them do a card was almost like 2 years ago. Yeah, they did like 2 back in 2021 or 2022, and they haven't done a card up until now, so maybe, it takes money. Like I said, it does take some money to put these cards together. So maybe that's why they have these fighters like Chris Cyborg trying to help invest it to kind of build it up. But I'm gonna go back and watch this, and maybe if there's something that stands out about it, or a couple fighters that stand out on the card, I'll come back on and tell y'all about it, or tell y'all who to look out for. All right. But real quick, UFC 299. I want to talk about that here in a minute. But I was wondering why Joanna was in the house. I was like, what is Joanna doing there? As far as the spotlight, they kept putting the spotlight on, and now I remembered. I said, oh, okay, they're about to induct her into the Hall of Fame. They're about to put her in the Hall of Fame, and she's the first female European UFC champion, first Polish champion, and she ran the division, man. So yeah, shout out to Joanna. She's in there now. She's been inducted into the Hall of Fame. I believe she's the second woman. Yeah, I think she is the second woman. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? The second woman in the UFC Hall of Fame now. But hold on, there's definitely a lot of other women that are coming up that are gonna, make their stamp, that definitely deserve to be in there at some point. But Joanna, she's earned it. Like I said, whether it's her winning or her losing, she's always satisfied me. Whenever it comes down to her having to lose, or whenever it comes down to her winning and putting on like a clinic on whoever it is, like Jessica Andrade or Jessica Panay, I've been satisfied with her fights. I know some people call her the decision queen, but she's like one of the only fighters I can watch by decision and still be excited. You know what I mean? Like she's one of them fighters that just bring the action for 5 rounds, and you can't whine about it. You can't complain about it. I mean, when she first started, she was getting stoppages here and there. Like it's usually the fighters that can't withstand that volume. When she fought Claudia, that was back and forth action. I believe that the first fight was 3 rounds when they fought. Pretty close fight. Then when she fought Carla, of course, he stopped Carla in 2 rounds to win the belt. And when she defended against Jessica Panay, she stopped her. But from there, she was decisioning a lot of girls. But they were still good fights. They were still good. They were still exciting. I mean, Jessica Andrade, that matchup was probably one of my favorite Joanna fights. She just pieced this girl up with a jab and a leg kick all night. Jessica Andrade was known as a monster, but when she came in there against Joanna, it was like she just shut that down, man. That was like one of the first fights that's probably like one of the first fights where you seen Jessica Andrade just look helpless. She was fighting somebody, of course, that didn't really pack that much punching power, but she still controlled her. And that's what I was talking about the other day. Like, same thing with Joanna. Like, Joanna don't have like this concussive power like Jessica Andrade does, or Amanda Nunes, but it's enough to keep fighters back. And that's kind of what Joanna always had. She always had that hard pop to her shots where she would just keep you on the back foot all day, or keep you outside of range. Yeah, I like the Joanna Claudia saga. They've always been good fights. I kind of thought Claudia was going to pull it out in the first fight, but she started to gas. Same thing in the second fight. She had some moments in the second fight, but I think she lost the second fight a little bit more decisively, right? I think Claudia lost the second fight decisively because she started to kind of gas out even in that third round. She started to really, really lose that pace, and Joanna started to take over. Joanna had everything in there as far as like what she needed to dominate that early strawweight division. She had the jab, the gas tank, the strength, and number one, that takedown defense. Like, I don't think anybody's had takedown defense like her in the strawweight or flyweight division. Not really. I don't think so. I don't think anybody's been able to match that. Paul said Joanna versus Carolina. Yeah, it was a good action-packed fight. And I had to do what I picked against Joanna in the Rose fight. There was just something about that style matchup. When Joanna fought Rose, I was like, I don't know about this one. Like, it didn't even have nothing to do with like the way Joanna was acting. How she was acting the fool this time and just talking trash to Rose. I was just like, I don't know, man. Rose seemed focused, and there's something about Rose's style that's gonna perfectly time her. And I called that one too. I don't know how I did. I said, you know what, Rose probably gonna knock her out, and that's how it ended. Since then she's never been able to touch that belt again. But even though she hasn't, she left her mark. Rose became a 2-time champion. Carlos became a 2-time champion. Wade Lee's become a 2-time champion. But the one thing Joanna's been able to do that they haven't is defend that belt multiple times. More than once, let's put it that way. She defended that belt 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. She defended her belt 5 times. Yeah, some of the other fighters may have won it twice, more than once. But, Joanna, she kept that belt, defended it 5 times. I think that was impressive. Active. Probably, I won't say probably, but is the most active, was the most active strawweight champion, right? Because let's see, when she fought Carla, she jumped right back in the cage to defend her belt 3 months later. And then fought one more time at the end of the year, 5 months later. Then she fought in the summertime against Claudia. 4 months later, she came back, fought Carolina. And then about 5 months later, she fights Jessica Andrade. So, yeah, she was an active champion. She was an active champion. Yeah, Joanna was a reigning champion. Yeah, she truly was a reigning champion. Like, that's some of the things like people don't understand is like, you got to have like a hunger for it, and you have to have that mode where you can switch. You have to switch gears. You have to switch that gear. Like, once you win the belt, that's one thing, but defending it is another. And Joanna's been able to do that. Like, she switched gears and said, I'm past fighting my way up. I'm here. Now I got to defend the throne. It's almost like a different attitude at that point, because most fighters, when they get the belt, when that first title defense comes, they're different. They're different. They don't have that flame anymore, so they wind up losing it. But Joanna, she kept that thing 5 times, defending that thing 5 times. I'm like, oh, I'm impressed. Zay, what's up? He said, who do you think Macy Barber should fight next? Hold that thought. I'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, Joanna did her thing 2015 to 2017. She held on to it. Never could get a belt. Never could get the belt back. But hey, she's already made her landmark, and that's impressive. She was a 1-time champion. That's all she needed to be. I don't think anybody will be able to match her takedown defense or her durability, her style in the strawweight division. Yeah, still pull up a Joanna fight and still watch them. The Whaley fight, everybody knows that was one of the best fights. to represent WMMA, right? Yep. All right. So I think from here, Joanna, she'll probably stay retired though. I think she'll probably stay retired. I don't think she'll come back. They might have to do something major for her to come back. I mean, like this huge payday, but I just don't see it happening. I think she talked about it a little while back, but I don't think she's coming back. All right, stay retired. But speaking of retirement, had a couple retirements here. You know, Janet Todd retired. Y'all know she was on the ONE FC card. She was the main event against Petija, kickboxing champion. And she came up short, but she put up a good effort, put up a really good effort against Petija, against somebody with that type of power. But yeah, Janet Todd, you know, she's a 115-pound kickboxer, been in the game for a minute. You know, she's already 38. You know, put on some good fights, put on some really good fights through ONE FC. I believe her ONE FC career was 3, 6, 7, 7-3. You know, lost to Stan Fairtex, Petija, Alicia Rodriguez, lost to the best. But, you know, beat fighters like Barbie, stopped her. And she did beat, she lost to Stan Fairtex in a Muay Thai fight, but she beat Stan Fairtex in a kickboxing match. That kind of tells you the, you know, like the different styles right there, like how Stan can fare well in Muay Thai, but in kickboxing, the pace is a little bit different. Technique is a little different. But yeah, Janet Todd been around a while, you know, tough, and put on a good last fight against Petija. Really durable, fought well. Good technique in that fight. Wasn't just going in there taking bombs. You know, showed a really good ability to fight off the back foot and everything, you know. So yeah, shout out to Janet Todd. Don't stay in the game too long. At 38 years old, she doesn't have anything left to prove. All right. And speaking of another retirement, shout out to JoJo. Y'all know JoJo retired as well. Called this her last fight. And what a way to go out, right? I mean, JoJo's kind of had a rough stint at 125. You know, it hadn't really been able to go her way, hasn't really been able to evolve. But she could still pull up some wins here and there. And she's ended her career on a 2-fight win streak. I'm not mad at her. You know, go ahead and call it a day. Last fight she had fought was against Luana Carolina, and she was out for like a year. But she came back, and she was able to right a wrong, man. She was able to right that wrong against Marina Moreau. Y'all know Marina Moreau handed her first loss. You know, but she came back, did her thing, almost stopped her. That was a good fight. I enjoyed that fight. I mean, what do y'all think, man? Did y'all like that fight? I thought JoJo ended her career with a storybook way. You know, beat the girl that handed her first loss, and just humbly accepted the fact that this is it. You know, there's nothing else for her left to do. She's been in the game this long. How many fights does she have in the UFC? Let's pull up her resume here. Because I've always been a fan of JoJo even since the Muay Thai days and Invicta days, Tough House. You know, and just seeing the downfall, though, was always kind of made me sad for her, man, because I always thought she could have been better. And at some point, should have fought for the belt. But every time she came close to fighting for the belt, there was a roadblock. Like when she first when she first lost against Marina Moreau about 9 years ago, I thought she could have fought. I thought she wouldn't be able to fight Joanna that next year, you know, but she came up short. Got submitted in the first round. You know, Joanna was cage side, but that kind of put a damper on that. And then she did go on, you know, another little win streak. She won a couple more fights against, you know, lesser strawweights. But when she had stepped it up against Jessica Andrade again, she got stopped in the first round. Lost second time. So that kind of killed her momentum. With Jessica Andrade, she goes off to get a title shot, you know. So she moved up to 125. She fared well against some fighters. I know she lost to Chikagan. She beat Andrea Lee, beat Ariane Lipsky. But again, right when she got to that point where she could have got a title shot, because Valentina already beat mostly everybody. She steps up and fights Jennifer Maia instead. So once again, Jennifer Maia finishes her in the first round. So there goes that title shot. And once again, it kind of goes downhill. I know she went on a 3-fight losing streak from there, getting finished by Grasso. And who knows, man, she would have beat Grasso. She probably could have got a title shot, or she beat Tyler Santos, but she got choked out by both of them in a row. So that gave them title shots. So, yeah, I think it's time for Joanna to go. She beat the level of competition that she could, which is good. Always put on a show, good fighter. Always enjoyed her stand-up game, those front kicks to the face, how she throws her punches. So yeah, definitely have a lot of fights to go back and watch that I remember. But let me see, at 38 years old, definitely time to wrap it up, man. Yeah, but for Marina Moreau, I don't know. Marina Moreau, I think she could stick around for one more fight, maybe. I think they need to give her another chance because she still has the skills, I think, to beat some of the other girls in the lower part of the flyweight division. All right. So yeah, moving up the ranks here, moving up to the higher ranks of the flyweight division. Let's talk a little bit about Maycee Barber up in here. All right. So Maycee Barber was able to get her a victory over one of the tough codes to crack at flyweight, Caitlin Chikagan. And I was back and forth on this one. I ain't gonna lie. I was back and forth. We still got like 20 people in. Make sure y'all hit the like button. If y'all enjoying the WMMA talk. I felt that Chikagan had the tools to beat Maycee Barber. Okay. That's why I first started off. I said, okay, you know what? I don't like the way Maycee Barber's talking right now. She's kind of skipping over what Chikagan brings to the table. I'm picking Caitlin. And I already seen like the trouble that Maycee Barber has when she fights at a range. And then I'm looking at Caitlin Chikagan. I'm like, okay, this is up her alley. Caitlin Chikagan, she dominates sometimes like here. I mean, she makes fighters look bad fighting from the outside, So I was like, okay, Caitlin Chikagan's got this. Maycee Barber, her main focus sometimes, is to really go in and get that stoppage, but she needs to learn how to set it up a little bit more. Like first round in this one, I was like, okay, maybe she'll get the stoppage. But when she started to gas out and Caitlin Chikagan showed that chin, it kind of exposed something in there. Like how she was running in there, just trying to hook with her. And I was like, no, you can't just hook. You can't just wade your way in and hook Caitlin like that. You got to fight your way in or use some leg kicks or something. But overall, I mean, Maycee did what she had to do. I mean, she switched gears after that second round. I thought she lost. And she was able to put more pressure and use that clinch game. Wasn't really able to be active in the clinch because Caitlin was doing well at tying her up. But yeah, Maycee Barber, she got the win. She got the win. I'm not arguing the win. I'm arguing with the judges as far as 30-27. I don't think it was a 30-27 fight at all. I don't think it was 30-27. I thought that it was like 29-28. I gave Chikagan the second round, Barber the first and third. Yeah, I think Chikagan would have did well had she been more active. I know she had some time off. She talked about being on the whole fertility situation, and being on those, and the miscarriages and stuff like that. So I think maybe she was just in a different place mentally, and she wanted to return to fight. She said that coming to the fight game is more of a break than what she was dealing with in her personal life. So yeah, I can understand that, but I think that Caitlin Chikagan, had she been active, yeah, I think she probably would have edged out Barber. I think she would have. I think Barber has come a long way. She's improved as a fighter. But like when I compare it to Manon or Aaron, I think that the two of them tend to I think they adapt better in fights. They adapt better and they find ways to win. Where I think Macy, she's finding ways to win, but I think she's improving a little bit slowly. I think she improves just a little bit slower than the rest of them. Like, I think Erin in a fight knows how to find a way to win, get it in. She gets it in. Like, it's not like she figures it out late. Like, when she sees something working for her, she sticks with it and she keeps going with it. She's good. But I think Macy sometimes when she gets that groove going, it's a little too late. But not in this fight, of course, but like if you see her in some other fights, like again, had Chikage, I think, been active, yeah, I think she probably would have lost. But even like in the Lex Grasso fight, when she started finding her groove, it's a little too late. But going back to what you said, Zay, you said, do you think she'll? Oh, you're talking to Marcus. Okay, well, yeah. Going back to your first question, you said, who do you think Macy Barber should fight next? I think Macy Barber should probably fight the loser of this fight coming up March 29th. Aaron versus Manon. I think the loser of that fight would be a good matchup for her. Because right now, with what's going on in the division, I think we're gonna have a legit contender here by the end of the month. March 29th, when that fight is over, we should have a legit contender. But in the meantime, Barber, she could do with another fight or two. Even though Barber's on this big win streak, like Aaron and Manon, the exact same win streak, they all won 6 in a row. I still think that Barber could do with a couple more, or maybe one, and let it be one of them. Let it be one of those tough fights, because that's the new blood that you're gonna be up against. I think, I think Chikagan could have did better, but with her being out for a year, I kind of understand. I think she definitely would have done better had she been active, but being out the game, she did post up a picture, during that time off. I guess on the fertility drugs and everything, she was up to like 170, but she made it down to 125. I got to give her props. I got to give her props. Yeah, looking at somebody like Jack Madalena right now in the UFC, he is won his first fight back in 2022, and from there he went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he's on a 7-fight win streak, and he hasn't got a title shot yet, right? So yeah, Jack Madalena, man, you look at somebody like him, he's on a 7-fight win streak. So it's not too uncommon for some of these fighters to go on longer win streaks. So just because Aaron and Manon have 6 doesn't mean they have to wait. They could fight again, especially for Barber. Barber, I'm looking back like at the fighters she's fought, like the seasoned fighters like Roxy or Alexa Grasso. They were really experienced fighters that had the styles to upset her, like put her on her back, and even some of the striking techniques that gave her issues. I think she can do to learn a little bit more. She can still do to learn a little bit more, because can she get a title shot now? Sure. But can she win the title? Not yet. I think she could still get in a couple more fights to prepare her to win that title, or be in talks of winning the title. Yeah, because any of these girls get title shots at this point. Like when Valentina was on top, you could say, okay, when they so and so goes on 4-fight win streak, all right, this person earned it. But can they beat Valentina? Like even when Lauren Murphy, Lauren Murphy went on a nice win streak. She deserved the title shot. But if you ask me, can she beat Valentina? No. Same thing with Macy. Macy Barber's on a nice win streak. Could they give her a title shot? Sure. But can she beat Grasso or Valentina? No, not yet. But if she goes in there and fights like the loser of Aaron Manon, and she goes in there and like destroys him, and I mean just comes up with a full-on strategy and just takes one of them apart, or even finishes them in like the first round, I'm be like, okay, she's ready. That'll be 7 in a row for her, just like JDM. Madalena on his 7-fight win streak. I mean, actually, he wants to call out Rachmanov, right? So he's gonna go on an 8-fight win streak if he beats him. Title shot still out of their way, so ain't nothing wrong. Like, they ain't got to rush. Macy's still young. I mean, she feels like because she's at number 4, like that's it. But there's still a lot of other stuff going on right now where you can't really jump ahead. Zay said, I think she should fight Tracy Cortez. That'd be a good fight. Tracy Cortez is number 10, but that's not a bad one, to stay busy with. Style wise, I think, and Tracy Cortez, she's undefeated in the UFC. She's undefeated as well. But, right now, I might have to. Mm, mm, that's a good fight now. I think about it, Zay, man. That's a good one. Because I want to say I'll give it to Macy because she's active and she's much more improved. But Tracy Cortez is tough on the ground. Tracy, that fight would probably be high risk, low reward for Macy Barber at this point. Definitely be a good reward for Tracy Cortez, but that style matchup would be interesting. Paul said that's an interesting thought. Macy may have to fight a 5-round fight sometime soon. It'll be interesting to see how she holds up after 3. That's That's the thing. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like when these fighters, they go on little win streaks and they beat like when they beat maybe 3 or 4 of their opponents decisively. Okay, they beat 3 or 4 of their opponents decisively in 3-round fights. I think eventually they need to be given a 5-round fight, like automatically. Like if you're gonna put this person in there as a title contender next, or it's a title shot, it should always be a guaranteed 5-round fight to prepare that fighter. Like we need to see what Macy looks like in there, at this point in a 5-round fight. Because we see how she looks at 3. She looks okay. She looks good. But as far as like adapting in the situation and staying ahead, I want to see a little more. Paul says, seems like someone like Erin would do fine in 5, but Macy will have to be careful in 5 with her style of throwing and everything she's got in her shots. Yeah, I agree with that. I think Macy Barber, that type of style that she's using, that's very physical and always looking to punch and, land elbows in the clinch and throw these heavy knees. It's kind of a taxing style in there. She has to find her pace. Some rounds you go in there and attack. A couple rounds you got to go into more of a technical mode, economical mode, where you can still win. But fighters like Erin, though, man, like Erin can press you and still keep that action coming. That's why I'm really interested to see how this 5-round one goes with Manon. I think both of them have pretty good gas tank. Yeah, Erin is Manon is a mover, but Erin is young. Erin's young. So with her being young like this, she has a lot in the tank. And she's gonna keep on coming. She's gonna keep trying to clinch and keep trying to go for takedowns. But yeah, Barber, I think at this point of her career, she would do well to get in another fight. Yeah, and Moonlight said Natalia Silva. Yeah, Natalia Silva, that's a good fight for her. But I think again that would be high risk, low reward for Macy Barber, man. How do you think that fight go with Moonlight? I know you love Macy. They said she's a bull. How do you think that would go? Zay said maybe Macy could work on wrestling, especially for the top 3 fighters. Yeah, that's one thing about Macy. I'd like to see her be more like a wrestler. Like she likes to club. She likes to kick, and I like that about her. She's moving, she's got form, she's quick for her, her size too. I'll tell you this right now, I don't think Macy Barber would be able to move down to 115. Like there was a point where she was talking about moving down to 115. Macy Barber ain't moving down to no straw weight. I mean, she talking about 135 now, and when I look at her now and how she feels out at 125, she ain't no straw weight. And that ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, like, she'd be better off staying at flyweight or moving up the bantamweight to me. I think that jump would kill her if she moved down to 115 the way she's, kind of filling out at 125. So I don't see that happening. But yeah, with her size at 125, she needs to move a little bit more, on the ground, need some takedowns. That's one thing I'd like to see from her is, becoming more of that type of fighter that can go in there and wrestle. When you got that type of size, man, you gotta use it. Erin uses it. Shoot, I want to see Manon use it sometimes. Like when she clinched up with Rose and was able to start tearing her body up with those knees. I was like, I want to see Manon take this thing to the ground here and there, But yeah, with with Macy's position, I think she's in a good position right now to grow as a fighter. You know, get another name on there, and just keep it moving from there. Just kind of keep it moving. All right. But yeah, speaking of this whole timeline thing, Marcus, I mean, this is something that's just been kind of baffling me since we talking this whole flyweight, this whole flyweight change up now, all this new blood going down. You know, we got Grasso and Shevchenko right now. Grasso, Shevchenko, hate to say they're holding up the division, but they are, man. Like this third fight, can't come soon enough. And now we got Alexa Grasso and Valentina Shevchenko starring and coaching in the next Tough House, Tough 32. So with that, we might as well go ahead and say, you know, this fight ain't happening for another 4 months, 4 or 5 months. It's gonna start getting shoot. So we ain't even summertime, but we already going into wintertime when that fight happens. You know, seasons are going to change. A couple of seasons going to pass. So looking at this, yeah, Tough House. I mean, I some people aren't really a fan anymore of the Ultimate Fighter, but they have some good fights up there. They've had some decent fights. You know, I can't say that all the fights are bad. I like some of the things that be going down up there. You know, as far as like bringing in um Chandler, you know, Juliana Pena. I thought they turned out to be good coaches, and it was funny seeing Chandler just almost sweep Conor McGregor's team, you know, because Conor McGregor was just bringing that energy, man. It was just funny, man. But this time around with Alexa Grasso and Valentina Shevchenko, they're coaching all men, middleweights, and what I say, featherweights. Yeah, you know, I think this is going to be interesting. Valentina's supposedly bringing in a whole team, you know, bringing in, you know, of course, Pavel, he's going to be there, but she's got some other people, I think, from Argentina and a couple of other people she's bringing in, and, you know, she's taking it seriously. And the one thing I do like about what Valentina said about coaching is that, yeah, she's here to help the fighter. She ain't just here to show face, you know, because she said that there's a lot of great fighters out there, but some of the great fighters they had, they can't coach. And I mean, I agree with her, man, because, you know, Amanda Nunes, great champion, you know, great champion, you know, one of the best fighters. But when it comes down to coaching, I mean, Juliana Pena showed her up. Juliana Pena got a unanimous decision when it came to coaching, you know, so maybe Valentina's in that same mindset. And hopefully Grasso is too. You know, Grasso said, you know, she's there to train these fighters, help them out. You know, Valentina said, and we're not trying to change people. You know, we just trying to make them better, you know, help tighten them up and make them better. And yeah, I'm curious to see how they work with their fighters. I'm curious as to see if they both are good or if one is good, like it usually works out. Like Misha Tate kind of turned out to be a better coach than Ronda. Michael Chandler turned out to be a better coach than Connor. Juliana Pena turned out to be a better coach than Amanda Nunes. And yeah, G Frame, Claudia turned out to be a better coach than JJ. Yeah, than Joanna. You know, so yeah, that's the one thing I want to see. I want to see how they communicate with these fighters and if the language is going to be, you know, an issue or not. I know Valentina, she speaks like 5 languages, so whoever's in there, she should be able to cover it, right? But with that being said, yeah, they're supposed to start filming in March, right? They're supposed to start filming in March. That's the word. So the show is going to premiere in June. All right. So when the show premieres in June, we might as well say that we got to get those fights out of the way. And of course, they still have to make sure that they're prepared and they're trained. And I was thinking that maybe if the card, well, let's see, if the show premieres in June, it's like what, 8 weeks. So it won't, man, it won't end until like July. Man, it ain't going to end until July, right? So if the if the show doesn't end till July and they still got to go through all their fights, I'm sure Valentina and Grasso might corner their fighters if they make it there to the finals on whatever UFC card it is. We probably won't see them in action until August or September. Let's be real. If it's July, like I said, if it's around that area, July, August, and September, Dana White's going to go ahead and try to lock this thing in for the best card, which is at the Sphere, right? Mexican Independence Day. Mexican Independence Day, that's where it's going to be. Might as well say that. Like, if this thing ends around July or August, might as well say they're going to push it out to September. So these two have been out a full year. They've been out a full year. Now, I know they've had some damage, broken hands, what have you, what. There's just been so many chances that opportunities, I think they could have scheduled this earlier. They've recovered, but they could have put this thing on in May or June. They didn't have to coach. Like I said, I'm interested in seeing them coaching, but I'm more interested in seeing them get this thing done. Paul said, just wait, if Val wins, we'll have to have a fourth fight. Not on my watch. Hopefully not on Dana's watch either. I'm gonna take that watch and break it. Nah, man, we don't need no fourth fight yet. If they want to have a fourth fight to end their careers, fine. Or if they want to have a fourth fight at bantamweight, fine. Or if they want to have a fourth fight when they're no longer champions, go ahead. When Aaron Manone has that belt, y'all do whatever you want. That's how I see it. But yeah, looking at this schedule, man, like that's what it seems to be, man. Look, March 4th, 2023 was the first fight, right? We've already passed a year now. Year anniversary for the first fight. Then they came back 6 months later, September 16, 2023, for the draw. And now we're already March 13th, 2024. And then the next 3 months are going to be filming. And then the end of the show, the finals, then around August or September. So yeah, we're going to be out. We're going to be out of a title fight, a flyweight title fight for another 6 months, y'all. No, that ain't working for me. That ain't going to work for me, man. Oh, man. But they seem to be fine with it. I mean, I'm sure there was a point where Valentina or Alexa wanted to get this thing over with, but you know who I'm feeling for, right? I'm feeling for the rest of this flyweight division right now, because let's look at this timeline. If that fight doesn't happen until September, okay, Paul? Fight's not going to happen until September. That's already 6 months past from this fight coming up in March. All right. Aaron and Manone fight March 29th again. And this is a 5-round main event that we're all dubbing title eliminator, because this is the number 1 and number 3 fight, right? So they're going to fight in March, at the end of March. And they're going to be sitting on the sidelines April, May, June, July, August, September. That's 6 months down for them, right? While Valentina and Grasso return to the cage after a year off. Okay? So they come into the cage and fight in September. And whoever the winner is, walk away with that belt in September, October, November, December, January, February. That's like 5 months. I'm just, doing the logical turnaround for a championship fight. Maybe four or 5 months, right? That's 2025 right there. Or December 2024. Like, if Grasso wins or Valentina wins and they feel good and they want to come back right then in 3 months, that could happen. They win the belt September. Boom. I want to come back and fight. Valentina said that before too. She said, I'll fight in September and December. I feel good about doing stuff like that. So with her, maybe. Grasso, maybe her too. Maybe when they win that belt in September, they'll come back in 3 months to wrap the year up. I mean, it still sucks because it's still a long ways. But I'm just saying, like, we want to keep it in 2024. But it's really looking like Aaron Manone or Barber won't be getting a shot until 2025. I'm just saying, like, I'm just doing the math here. And this is logical math, right? Because they're not fighting until September. So whoever wins this title eliminator, they're not going to get a shot until 2024, late 2024, 2025. And they'll been out from March 2024, 9 months. That's December, right? December is 9 months already for Aaron and Manone, right? Aaron Manone, that's already 9 months right there. 10 if you go into January. Then they'll be going on a year. So I think in the meantime, man, like I might talk about this in another video, but it looks like whoever wins this fight probably will have to mix it up with Barber. Maybe the winner might have to mix up with Barber. What y'all think? Like, I know we keep saying the loser, but now that I'm doing the math on it, it's looking like Barber might get to fight the winner of this fight, and the loser gets to fight somebody else in the meantime. Like the loser of Aaron Manone might fight Natalia, and Barber gets to fight the winner. Because that's the timeline. Like they're gonna have to do something. Like the next 9 after this big fight, this big main event they have, they're gonna be free for 9 months unless they fight somebody. That's what it is. They're all gonna be free for 9 months unless they fight somebody else. Like I'm sure they don't want to sit around, but I'm sure they don't want to put their title shot at risk. But they're gonna have to do it. Sounds bad, but I think we all feel like they're ready. Aaron and Manone, if they fight, we feel like they're ready for the shot, but they're not going to get it right now. That's why it should be for an interim title. I think they should just lock this thing as an interim title because they've done enough to almost defend their spot. Like to me, it should be an interim belt. It should be an interim belt coming up in March. All right, let me go back to y'all comments here real quick. I just wanted to do some math here. Zay said, just need to get this third fight out the way to get some other fights for the title. I'm with you, man. We just need to get this thing done. But, they already signed over his Tough House, so we ain't going to get it. Moonlight said Manone era is going to be a brutal first or second round TKO for Manone. You think so? I will say this, like, if they watch the Tyler Santos fight, they need to use more technique. Like, don't just throw with Aaron and don't just stand in front of her like Tyler did. Like Tyler hurt Aaron. Moonlight, but she saw a lot of the shots coming. So I think if Manone wants to stop her, you got to catch her. I think Manone has the movement and the technique, but it just comes down to not backing down from her too. Like, got to keep your range. Land them hooks when she steps in. That's the only way I think you want to really get Aaron out of there. Like Aaron gonna keep coming. Aaron gonna keep coming. She gonna find a way in there. That's why you have to find that sweet spot. Like you just can't go in there and trade with her because she'll start to jump on you and smother you. Liz said, I hope boxing Grasso wins. Yeah, if Grasso wins, we move on. But if Valentina wins, I know she's gonna be looking for that fourth fight. G Frame, he said UFC and consecutive title trilogies name a more iconic duo. Paul said, and if Jan wins at 300, we'll have a long Jan Whaley saga. I know Whaley will get another shot, though. They'll give Whaley a shot probably right away. Shevchenko versus Grasso is a good fight. Yeah, it's a good fight. We've seen it many times now. I'm just ready to move on. Aaron gonna be waiting like Chandler. Yeah. And that's the thing, man. They're gonna go into this brutal fight and then take a long break. By the time Aaron wins the title, she'll have already beat all her. Exactly. Like G Friend, that's what I'm saying. Like by the time Aaron wins, because Manone had beat Maya, she's gone. Kagan, she's already been beat. But Aaron Blanchfield, she did beat Tyler Santos. Of course, she's gone. She beat Andrade. But whoever wins, they're probably going to before this fight, they're gonna probably have to fight Macy Barber or something, Ty Silva. So by the time they win the belt, they've already defended the belt. They're gonna be fighting rematches. Zay said Macy Barber called out Grasso for a second fight. Yeah, she did. She called out Grasso. She said she want to fight Grasso, title or not. She said, "I fight her a title or not." And I'm like, okay, I give you props, but better get in line. Better wait for the winner of this fight. Paul said, "I can feel it. We're going to get Blanchfield Barber." Definitely want to see that by the end of the year. Paul, I got a video coming, man. We're going to talk about that. Like, Paul, I got 3 fights I want to see before the end of the year. 3 fights in the flyweight division that got to happen. There are 3 fights that have got to happen. All right. But yeah, man, it's not looking good for the young ladies fighting March 29th or even like Macy. I think the 3 of them are probably gonna have to mix it up. Throw Natalia Silva in that mix too. Throw Natalia Silva in that mix because she's already up there, right? Where's she at? Number 7 now. You about to have these 4 girls mix it up before they can fight for a belt. That's why I say, make that junk an interim belt. Yeah, Natalia Silva's number 7 now too. I know Andrade is 5, but she don't really fall into that mix. She really don't. She really don't fall into the flyweight mix right now. She got Marina Rodriguez problems coming up. Okay. All right. Still sticking with flyweights. Y'all. Have y'all seen this yet? I don't know if this picture will fit all the way up here. There we go. PFL 2024 season is going down. Let me pull up the schedule here. As y'all know, I talked about one of the fights that's supposed to happen that I'm not a big fan of, but this is your roster, y'all. And I'm going to pull up your matchups here in a minute. But this is your roster for PFL 1 2024 season. These are all your fighters right here. Not looking bad. Zay say I can't wait till March 30th. Yeah, I can't either, man. That's going to be a good fight. Zay, come on over on March 30th, man. I'm going to call the fight. I always do a fight companion. So if you're watching the fight, just play it in the background. I usually be on here. The chat usually be on here talking junk. We all be talking junk. We don't be talking junk like that, man. Like unless somebody got their favorite fighter fight, and it's gonna be hype too. I'm more hyped for this fight than I am the third fight between Bullet and Grasso. I am. But yeah, look what we got here, y'all. PFL's women's flyweights for PFL 1 2024 regular season. These are your 12 women in the flyweight division. All right. And pull this. There we go. All right. Okay. Aaron Manone lines drop. Oh, okay. Aaron's minus 162. Manone plus 136. Ooh. Uh-oh. Might have to put some money on this one, y'all. Just saying. All right. Okay. Thursday, April 4th, we kick this thing off. We'll have some flyweight fights. This time through the PFL. Here's your 12 women. All right. We got Sumiko Inaba, Caitlin Neal, Jenna Bishop, Chelsea Hackett, Juliana Velasquez, Lisa Malden, my girl Denise Kielholtz, Shannon Young, Kana Watanabe, Dakota DeChiva, Liz Carmouche, and none other than Tyler Santos. All right. So this is that whole PFL and Bellator crossover. Plus you got a newcomer from the UFC. You got Tyler Santos in the building. So this is going to be interesting, man. Like I can definitely see like a level of experience here where I already kind of pick out certain girls that's going to be trouble. But then I see like the mid tier here But I see some good fighters from the bottom too, the hungry fighters, man. Like there's a girl on here that I've been telling y'all to check out, Jenna Bishop. That girl's a beast in there. Good jujitsu, good ground game. Definitely somebody look out for. So you never know what could happen in certain matchups. But they already put the matchups up for April 4th. It's going to go back and forth with the heavyweights. Let's see here. And I'm gonna pull this fight. Yeah, this was on Thursday, but yeah, I'm gonna tune into it. I might catch it with y'all. Because let's see, we got Sumiko Inaba, came out of Bellator. Her last fight, she lost to Denise Kielholtz. She's a banger, boxer, striker. She can move, she can hit. She got some pop on her shots. That's an interesting fight. She's an interesting fighter. Caitlin Neal, she's always been kind of like touch and go, like not sure about her, like what's really her style. Just never really like been hitting with it like that. Even in the tough house, sometimes she's on her striking, she's strong, but still not really like in it like that. Like Jenna Bishop, that girl, she fights. Like she's a little bit older than you think, but she's tough, man. I mean, she's a little bit older than you think she's younger. Yeah, you think she's younger, but she's a little bit older. Jenna Bishop, that girl's a beast on the ground. Chelsea Hackett, you got Julian Velasquez, former Bellator champ. Lisa Malden, of course, our girl Denise Kielholtz. So I would say like the third tier here right now is at the bottom. Hackett, Bishop, Neal, and Inaba. Bishop and Inaba are probably the ones I would say to really look out for. They those are the two that will probably spring out of the bottom tier here. Then the second tier, yeah, would be like Shannon Young, Denise Kielholtz, Lisa Malden, Juliana Velasquez. Velasquez only lost to the champ twice. Then at the top, you got Santos, of course, Tyler Santos, Liz Carmouche, she's the champ. Dakota Chiba's European champ, and Conor Watanabe, So these are some good fighters here. For the most part, I think some of the matchups are okay. But that one matchup I talked about, I don't know about that one. We really don't need to see that third fight again. So let's see. You got to kick off the PFL card. You got Sumiko Inaba taking on Caitlin Neal. That's a good fight. That's a decent matchup there. And I think Sumiko Inaba, with the way she lets go, she gonna light Caitlin Neal up, man. I think she likes Caitlin Neal up because when she comes to fight, she's fighting. She's not sitting back taking pictures and posing, man. She's fighting. So that's an interesting match there. I think I lean more towards Inaba. Chelsea Hackett, she's tough on the feet, strong, has a little bit of power. But Jenna Bishop, that girl, she can bang too. She'll bang her way in there, and then she's taking you to the ground and submitting you. That last fight she had with, what's her name? Ilaria Wani. Good fight, man. You got Conor Watanabe taking on Shannon Young. I lean towards Conor Watanabe in that one, man. I think Conor Watanabe, she's had some bad situations with her striking at times, but she'll fight. And when she gets you to the ground again, it's a wrap. She's strong like that. A couple of times she's got stopped. A couple of times she's almost got stopped, but she's come back. Yeah, I think she's tough. Shannon Young, again, kind of like Caitlin Neal, she's she likes to go in there and brawl a little bit, but still doesn't really commit. Doesn't really commit like that. You got Tyler Santos and Denise Kielholtz. That's like a matchup that's like a crossover UFC Bellator matchup I would have wanted to see in the past. That's going to be a tough one. I think Denise Kielholtz has great kickboxing, but the thing is, Santos, if she starts to feel like she's in trouble, you know what she's going to do? She's going to take her down. And that's where I think she'll have trouble. Denise has got to go in there and fight to finish. Got to go in there and fight to finish somebody like Santos. Then you got Dakota Chiba versus Lisa Malden. Lisa Malden's a good fighter, but I lean towards it, the striking, the stand-up game and power of Dakota Chiba. Lisa Malden has some good fights now. Like she did stop Helen Peralta too. I was impressed with that. She stopped her. She submitted Desiree Yanez. She's boxed a little bit, but I've seen one of her fights in LFA where she lost to Sam Hughes. So she fought some pretty good level of competition. She's already fought Caitlin Neal in the past too. So I think that Lisa Malden, that's probably a good level for Dakota. I don't know. I can't count her out. Let me take that back. I think that she has a good chance to win this fight. She has a good chance. Okay. Not saying she does, but that'll be interesting. So all the fights are pretty matched up well, except for Liz Carmouche and Juliana Velasquez. That's the third fight I don't want to see, man. I mean, how many of y'all want to see that again? I mean, they could have done one better by putting Juliana Velasquez in there with they could have put her in there with Lisa Malden and Shannon Young. Give her one of them because she's been out the game for 2 years and she's already coming off of 2 horrible losses to Liz Carmouche. She already got beat 2 times, so that's not really fair to her, man. I hate to see her get done like that. I mean, what do y'all think, man? Paul said, still betting the house on Aaron, though. I bet lots of money will come in on Manon because, let's be honest, I love Aaron, but such an even fight. Manon is a good underdog. Got to go with Aaron. Okay. I'm not giving my pick yet. Not giving my pick yet. Okay. Combo, let's play a game. Don't cheat. Who is the betting favorite between Verna Jandaroba and Lupi? Yes. The betting favorite, would it be, is it Lupi? I'm kind of thinking Verna. Let me see. Is it Verna? Is Verna the betting favorite? Is it Verna? Zay said Tyler Santos versus Dakota or Liz Carmouche. Yeah. Back to this real quick. Yeah, these are good fights, but I think Velasquez should be matched up with somebody else besides Carmouche. I don't want to see her lose again that quick into the tournament. It's not fair to her. She needs somebody to kind of tune her up again, like against Malden or Young. She hadn't fought since 2022, man. So I think that should have been fair on Juliana Velasquez. Like, give her somebody that she can fight right now to kind of sharpen her up and build her confidence up. Okay, yeah, Lupi is the favorite. Okay, I figure. Okay. But yeah, my favorites in this one right now, as far as taking all the marbles, is going to be between Santos, Carmouche, and Dachiva. Look, Denise Kills is my girl, but I'm not sure. Man. Like, if I had to put a fourth in there, I would put her in there as a fourth. Denise Kilholtz would be in my fourth, okay? But when it comes down to Santos, Carmouche, and Dachiva, those are probably going to be the three. That be the trouble. But like I was telling Marcus, man, like, Santos sometimes disappoints. Like, I hate to say it, like, she has a lot of stuff going for her, but sometimes she disappoints, man. Sometimes she just does. But yeah, man, it's looking good, man. A lot of stuff going on. I'm gonna be tuning into this card. April 4th. But we still got a lot of fights coming up. I know in a couple weeks we got Rose and Amanda Ebos coming up, so we'll talk about that later. I might get back on tomorrow because we got some fights coming up tomorrow too. Not tomorrow, but I'm getting on tomorrow because we got some fights coming up Saturday again, like three fights coming up, a couple bantamweight fights too. So I'm gonna jump back on tomorrow, y'all. But that's all I got tonight, man. Like I said, I'm a little over 12 minutes because I gotta go do something here. But Zay said, yeah, this is a tournament. Yeah, it's a tournament for $1 million. Tournament for $1 million. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. I really wouldn't be surprised if Liz was to take this thing, regardless of her style, if you hate her style, whatever. I still think she might take it, though. Like, if I had to put money on it, it might come down to her. She might school Dakota in the boring way. Same thing with Santos, but she's been in this game long enough now to really, really know what what these different fighters offer on the table here. I mean, I would love to see something crazy happen, like Jenna Bishop make it all the way up there and fight Dakota. I like to see Denise Kielholtz get up there. I mean, her and Tyler, that's gonna be a explosive fight. That's gonna be a good one though. That's gonna be good. Santos and the Kielholtz, that's gonna be a good fight. Like, regardless of who you think wins the million out of them two or takes it all the way, that's gonna be a good matchup though. All right. Zay said, I think Santos wins the tournament, maybe. It's gonna come down to those three. It's gonna come down to those three. Liz Cardio Machine. Yeah, Liz is gonna be taking her time in there. Liz is gonna take her time and she's gonna be moving, whether you boo or not. And I don't even know if it's the fact that she's really a cardio machine. I think it's the fact that she's not engaging as much, right? She's not as engaging as much. She's not letting it go. She's taking time off in the rounds. So we'll see. But I'm out, y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe, hit that like button. Had a good conversation tonight. And we can continue it tomorrow, y'all. And let me see here. Yeah, but leave in the comment section what y'all think, man. What y'all think they're gonna do. Grasso Shevchenko taking place in September. What's gonna happen, man? Like, y'all think Barber is gonna wind up fighting the winner of this fight coming up? And do you think Natalia Silva has her chance to squeeze up in here? We'll see. But I'm out, y'all. Later. Peace.